What is up, crypto hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency, NFT, blockchain education. And if you guys are brand new here, we simplify everything down so anyone can understand it. I really like to do some deep dives into the game theory and tokenomics around a lot of these new NFT projects. And in part of my meme token series here, I wanted to sit down and go through this awesome new project called Satoru Inu. Now, if you're not familiar with what meme tokens or meme stocks are, basically they are a way for people that aren't millionaires, they're not billionaires, they're just average people that find a community and they drive this stock. And this whole concept really kind of started with Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin was started many years ago. I actually played Dogecoin for what the equivalent of about $10,000 would be for a ping pong game back in 2014. Fun story there. But ultimately, it was the vote against cryptocurrency. It became this icon in the cryptocurrency community that said, guys, this is a joke. I'm just buying into this because I vote for the joke to be the number one currency with the highest value. And basically, fate loves irony. People had this token, this coin, for the longest time, and it pumped to like 75 cents, I believe, earlier this year when Elon Musk went on to SNL. And ultimately, what happened is a lot of these projects spun out on the Ethereum network that I consider to be meme tokens, and they are very powerful. Now, a lot of the boomers and the older investors look at these things and say, this is ridiculous, speculative values, all these young investors just coming in and pumping and all these things. And ultimately, what these boomers don't understand is the power that the internet can do with a true community of believers in something. And Dogecoin proved this model. Dogecoin proved that if you have a strong enough meme and you have people that rally behind it, that truly give it value because they're transacting between each other, because it's low cost, huge supply, it is a really empowering concept. And I encourage people to join some of these communities because ultimately that's why I wanted to do a series on this, because the psychology around it is beautiful in that you're following this community of people and you can create something of value through that community. And ultimately, this project here is developing things on top of that, but there are some out there that I want you guys to do your research on. Projects like this I see as lower risk because they're audited, they're building actively on things. Dogecoin doesn't have any improvements to it in years. And this is something that I do believe is the way of the future when you have Gen Z really getting in and behind things based on the community. And there are some cool tokenomics here that I'm going to dive into, but there are a couple key bullet points that I want to cover. First of all, there's a fantastic team. Ultimately, when you're investing, and not everybody's meant to be an investor, but when you're doing diligence, you got to check the team. Make sure that they are actual operators. And this has a fantastic team, and doing just basic research on their awesome website here, you can see Crypto Messiah is on board. This is a pretty influential person in the space, and ultimately having that core community plus a strong team is what can build out one of these meme token opportunities here. There are three things that are currently being built on this community here. Sato Samurai, which is a play to earn game. Sato Pay, which is actually a Node.js written payment system that's super clean and super easy. And then you have Sato Wallet. This is like basically the DeFi, decentralized exchange platform that you're going to be able to utilize. So when you have a good team, you have actual development taking place in activity and a core community to support those developments, you have this winning meme token opportunity here. Now, there are a lot of things to dig into. So what I want to do is I want to dive onto the site, talk about some of the components here, talk about the tokenomics because they have some really cool tax components here that go to the holders. I've talked about this on the first video in the series here, but ultimately they have these cool taxation features in the tokenomics that I'm going to dive into. that incentivize people to hold. If you hold on to these things, for example, if you held on to Dogecoin, there are plenty of Dogecoin millionaires out there now, and also Shiba Inu. I believe there was a $4,000 or $5,000 trade that happened August of last year that was now worth over $4.5 billion. So ultimately, the reward systems that are built in the tokenomics of tokens like this are fascinating to me, because that's what keeps the world moving, is incentives. And having these taxes to prevent whales, to really incentivize people to hold from each transaction, and then putting liquidity into the pool for the project from taxes is a really powerful concept. So without further ado, let's jump on to the site right here of Satoru Inu and just go through some of the mechanics here. And I want to show you guys a high level of what exactly is going on. As you can see from the home page, they have Sato as the token ticker right there, ERC20. And let's go through their quick mission, which is making blockchain gaming on all operating systems on Web3. Now, if you're not familiar with Web3, that is referring to Ethereum and the decentralized aspect of the internet right now. And it's super exciting to see Web3 really taking hold, because that term really makes you think about the traditional way the internet operated and how the future of the internet is going to operate with Web3. I love the hashtag here, join the Sato army. Definitely leave a comment in the description about that, guys. Going through the tokenomics, this is where I get excited about all these different types of projects. The reward system, every transaction is governed with a 2% tax automatically distributed to the loyal holders. This is what I consider the diamond hand tax. And as you can see here, the freedom icon under the diamond and the hand. This is quite the meme, and it started, I believe, with the GameStop movements, where you had AMC and GameStop pumping. That really exposed the settlement periods of Robinhood and some of these other custodians. Really, really interesting to see how that's transpired now into all these different projects. And diamond hands is a household term now. I would consider it one. The whale defense tax, beautifully designed, a 4% tax to increase the liquidity pool, which helps make sure that the whole amount of ETH that's in there isn't going to get drained out. And ultimately, the anti-rect aspect, so that they don't have power over you. And this is something that I can appreciate, because having a 4% tax is steep to prevent large transactions from taking place on a frequent basis, and protecting everybody else that's holding is very key. The final tax is 4% to make sure that devs will be able to match their innovative mindsets to better the project. So 4% basically being the revenue for the builders and the team here to keep this project going. So the three-pronged approach is very smart. It's simple. And the whale defense, I think, is the most important aspect here, outside of the reward system, of course, but ultimately protecting the liquidity pool and making it so that swaps are going to be able to consistently happen. And for newcomers, basically the liquidity pool makes sure that this token can be swapped with ETH and vice versa. And protecting that at all costs is very important. Providing yield to people and things like that is how a lot of projects do it. But for this, the taxing is a beautiful way of doing it. Next up, we have another three-pronged approach of the different projects that are being built around this community. The Sato Samurai is a play-to-earn game on iOS, Android, and Windows, and really cool concept of being able to upgrade your characters with the Sato token from earning and fighting and whatnot. Beautiful play on Axie and some of these other play-to-earn games rolling out right now. But really like the idea of them, going into the Sato-verse and building out a metaverse here, or being part of one that already exists, like a sandbox or, a Decentraland or something like that. Sato Pay, definitely a key here that it's built in Node.js. Really like that. And the fact that it is going to keep things moving, having its own wallet is basically like building your own infrastructure and coming up with that so that it doesn't have to rely on something like a MetaMask or something like that. It's very, very key to have that. Splinterlands actually did a good job of this back in the day, built it from the ground up to really help the community and have merchants accepting their token and whatnot. Sato Wallet is where they're going to bring in DeFi, and I do appreciate the fact that they're bringing in DeFi and having that cross-chain compatibility so you can swap, very similar on MetaMask. Next up, we have the Moon Map, of course. The Sato Moon Map is a living document that emphasizes the goals. 100% here. Phase 1 is where we're currently in, 1,000 holders, and the shilling campaign, hence part of this series here. Phase 2, 5,000 holders. Phase 3, 10,000 holders. Phase 4 is 30,000, and they even have a Phase 5 on here that is already planned in secret. Got to appreciate that. But the Phase 4 here is what I really like to emphasize on, because ultimately when you have the NFT release here, if people didn't realize yet, I am quite obsessed with the NFT concept, and especially launching with projects like this, where it's super, super community focused, like a lot of the NFT projects out there now. This is very important, very, very important. And the game, the play to earn game, coming out in beta as Phase 4. Super cool to see them have this far thought out. A lot of these projects out now are barely even having a moon map or a roadmap. It's really good to see them moving this out. I also wanted to highlight the billboard campaign in New York, Miami, SF, LA, Dubai, and Saudi Arabia. That is very interesting. It's been this big move with NFT projects like Bored Ape and things like that recently. Love to see that. Making sure that builds are happening and things are moving on is the team. So you have Shared, the CTO and lead. You have Flame, the CEO and project manager, and Techie, the game developer. The three people here are the ones that we consider big brains in the NFT community. As long as the big brains are there, they are continuously updating the community and protecting against whales, and there's liquidity being provided. You are golden here. Last up is the Sato VPN. Now, this one is pretty key because a lot of people use VPNs in this space, and it is a zero log VPN. Now, if you're not familiar with how VPNs work, basically when traditional VPNs are being used by you and you're going across all the different continents with different servers and you're searching around on the internet to try and keep your privacy, basically, some of these places will keep logs as to where you have gone. It's like a footprint as to where you have gone across the internet. Now, claiming no logs means that there is not a trace as to where you are going. And this is something that's been a problem with VPNs for a very long time. People all over the place that keep logs, and it drives people away. This is a key selling point for the Sato VPN by the Satoru Inu team, is that creating a VPN that doesn't keep logs is basically going to lower that barrier to entry dramatically, because all the people out there that appreciate the privacy using VPNs are going to come in and use this really innovative concept here. Now, it's going to be powered by the Sato token, and it's really interesting how that's going to tie in with something like the play to earn game, and the token just giving it, once again, more utility. A big example of this was Tron buying BitTorrent. A little bit different, but ultimately it was a company that built out a privacy-focused concept. That is it for my overview of Satoru Inu. Really interested and fascinated by this meme concept. I really love all the different taxation concepts, like the reward system, all of these different ways to prevent whales coming in through taxes to really go out into the liquidity pool and help support the community from getting dumped on by whales that come in and out of these projects regularly. So it's really interesting to watch a core community come together, build this project, and then build on top of it with the play to earn game and all the different intricacies that come with the Sato Pay and also the Sato wallet to build on DeFi. So as a full disclaimer, this is a sponsored review. All the videos in this series that I'm going to be doing, I reach out to these teams that come across my radar and want them to be involved in the series so you guys can do the research. So this is up to you guys to go onto these sites, do your research, check out what they're building, join the community to see what's going on there, figure out how vibrant the community is, and become part of the project. So definitely check out the Sato token and the Moon map, especially to check their roadmap and all the different phases that are coming out and the big marketing campaigns they're doing. But that is it for this episode. I hope you guys like it. If you did, slap a like. If you guys like the meme token series concept here, definitely leave a comment, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.